How's it going, everyone? Today we got the Galactic Championship side events released. This means I can finally crunch the numbers and see what's the best way to spend your time and money if you're going to the Galactic Championships. A couple things to start off with. I will be going to the championships, and I know about 8 other people who are going. I'll be talking about potentially going as a group and splitting tickets and stuff. And you may be saying, I don't have a group to go with. Well, don't worry. If you want to, feel free to join my Discord because I would like to organize a couple fun groups of people to go and get the most out of their Galactic Championship visit. Going with people going with friends will make it just that much better. So feel free to join my Discord and we can organize, a bunch of groups to go out and have fun together. And I do plan on playing with a lot of my viewers and having fun when I'm out there. So let's start off with how the side events will work. You're going to pay real money to get a side event ticket. Each side event ticket will be $5. Then, depending on the side event you want to play in, it's going to cost you X number of tickets. So it's like that mobile premium, here's money, I'm going to obfuscate it with tickets so you don't know how much money you're paying for each event, really. Then, depending on how well you do in that event, you're going to get X amount of prize wall tickets that you can spend on prizes at the prize wall. And they've been slowly announcing them, things like showcases, exclusive cards, play mats, things like that. And you may be wondering, well, do we know how much a prize wall ticket is valued? Do we have some kind of reward that we can, kind of ground ourselves with? And the answer to that is kinda. In one of the events that we're going to talk about, the Win a Box event, they say you will win 2,400 tickets, which is enough to get a full booster display box from the prize wall. So a Legends of the Force booster box is probably going to go around $75 at the time of the Galactic Championships. It may go up or down. Jump to Lightspeed dropped to $75 2 weeks after release, but Spark of Rebellion is still holding at the market value of $95. So for our math, I'm going to use the lower number, the $75, even though that's not market price, which is $95. This just gives us the worst case scenario, right? So if I show you guys the worst case and it's actually better, well, then we're all happy, right? Nobody's going to be mad at me. But if I showed you the best case and it ends up being worse, well, there might be pitchforks. If you have 2,400 tickets and you divide that by $75, that would give us 32 tickets per dollar. So that's kind of the inherent value of a ticket. And just so you know, if you do use the market price of a box at $95, it would be 25 tickets per dollar. So keep those numbers in your head as how to ground everything I talk about ticket-wise for the rest of the video. And ideally, right, what we're going to want is a larger ticket per dollar return than $32, because I'm going to use the $32 number throughout the video. So if you see a number that's 40 tickets per dollar, you're getting a bargain. But if you see something that's 20 tickets per dollar, you're actually getting taxed, right? So that's kind of how this is going to work. Basically, bigger number equals better. As a side note, throughout the video, I'm going to talk in terms of dollars, not prize tickets. I'm trying to be as transparent as possible, but just know you're going to pay the money for the entry tickets to spend to get the prize wall tickets. We're talking in terms of dollars, not entry tickets. So I've broken the events out into 4 separate sections. There's the 8-player on-demand pods, which are the Premier Pod, the Win a Box, the Legends of the Force Draft, and the Legends of the Force Sealed. Then we have the other on-demand events, which is Twin Suns and League Play. So all of these are obviously on demand. You show up, as soon as it fills up, it fires. Then we have tournaments. So there'll be 3 different types of tournaments held periodically throughout the event. You have Super Sealed, Premier, and Draft. Super Sealed is 12 packs. You make a sealed deck. Premier is Premier and Draft is normal draft. And lastly, we have Designer Battles, which has Draft and Premier, where you just basically get to play with the designers of the game, which is really cool. So let's start off with the Designer Battles, because these aren't really for prize tickets. These are more of get cool stuff, play with cooler people. The entry fee is $30 and it's a 3-hour event. If you win a designer draft, which there will be 3 of held throughout the weekend, one at 2 p.m. on Friday and Saturday, and one at 1 p.m. Sunday, you get a card from the prize wall signed by the designer in the pod, which is kind of awesome, right? The designer duels, which is the premier format, is actually free to enter, and you just get a Galactic Championship pin for playing with one of the designers. So tickets or no, I'm going to do at least one of each of these to hopefully get those cool rewards. Let's get into the 8-player pods, right? This is where we can really start earning tickets. The premier pod, you bring a premier deck, and it's 3 rounds of a single game match, single elimination. That means there's no sideboarding, nothing like that. You play 1 round. If you win, you go on. If you lose, you're out. And it's single elimination, not Swiss. So the moment you lose, you're done. There's a real chance you show up, you pay your money, you lose your first round, and you get bounced. Now, it's good if you want to keep grinding these events, but obviously we want to do better, so we get more tickets at a cheaper price. Each pod is 90 minutes long and costs $10 to enter. You get 100 tickets for participating, and then 300 tickets per match win, and 100 tickets per match loss. The way it's phrased makes it sound like it's Swiss. However, it's said single elimination, so you only ever will get 100 tickets for participating, 100 tickets because you only get 1 loss, and then 300 tickets per match win. The win a box format, you bring a premier deck, and it's again the same format as the other one, where it's 1 match, single elimination. Each pod is 90 minutes, but this one costs $20, not $10. You get 300 tickets for participating, so you a higher participation prize. You get no tickets for winning, and whoever wins the whole 8-player pod gets a whopping 2,400 tickets, which is enough for a full booster box, and that's how we got the price. The draft event is obviously draft, and it's 3 rounds of Swiss. It's 150 minutes, so probably 90 minutes plus 60-minute deck building time. But that seems a little high. Costs $15. You get 200 tickets per win. And lastly is the Legends of the Forest Sealed, which is the sealed format. 3 rounds of Swiss at 120 minutes, costing $30. And you get $100 per match win, no participation, nothing for a loss. That was a lot of numbers and stuff thrown at you really quickly. I'm going to put a table up of just the amount of tickets you'll get based on the number of wins you have at each of these events. And then if you split the prizing with the pod, which isn't against the rules, I want to highlight this. As long as you play the games, you don't collude about winning, who's going to win, I'm going to concede to you, none of that. You just play the games, you have fun, and then all of you just say at the end, here's the group of the amount of tickets we all got for participating in this event. Let's split it out evenly. That's not against the rules because you're just, sharing the prize or prize splitting, which is common in card games. So tangent over, you can see the draft and sealed are more about the cards than the tickets. And if you're strictly ticket farming, I would kind of avoid the draft and sealed. But if you want the cards, if you're trying to fill out a collection, feel free to do the draft and sealed events. Just if you're trying to ticket farm, they're not the best bang for your buck. The win-a-box here is also highly weighted towards the top. And based on the description for the event, I do believe you get 2,700 tickets, not just 2,400 tickets for winning. But if that's incorrect, let me know. I'll make a change and leave a pinned comment. Also remember that Premier Play is single elimination, so one person will win 1,000 tickets, one person will win 800 tickets, 2 people will win 500 tickets, and 4 people will win 200 tickets. And you may be wondering, why would I split with 7 other people? Well, it's a surefire way to know the amount of tickets you're gonna get, and it's like safe, right? If I go to the Premier Pod with 7 of my buddies, we split the winnings, we will each walk away with 450 tickets, so we know how many Premier Pods we each have to play to get the prizes that we want. And also, if you're not convinced on splitting, I ran a simulation. So this simulation was essentially 1,000 players show up to this event. Each of those players play in 10 Premier Pod events. And this graph was the outcome. And you may be saying, hey, this seems fine to me. It's about average. It's about what you would expect. It rises up close to 450 tickets. And, you have the extreme. Some people did really well. Some people did pretty bad. Well, close to 400 people in this simulation did not get the average of 450 tickets per game, which is what a split would guarantee. This simulation also didn't take into account player skill or anything like that. So if you lose a single round, you're done. And I just wanted to put this into perspective for you. I personally will be trying to field a team to split if I do the pods. So that way we get guaranteed money and you don't get unlucky in your first draw and you get paired against a bad matchup and you lose and you basically threw away $10, right? I'm going to try and do the split so I can kind of not waste any money. So anyway, tangent over about splitting. Splitting the win-a-box is going to give each player 600 tickets, while the Premier Pod is going to give you 400 tickets per person. But we're not here looking for the most tickets, right? We want the most tickets per dollar value. We want to get bargains on the tickets. We don't want to have to pay a ton of money for a huge smattering of tickets. We want to get that bargain. So here's the table that I made that shows the ticket per dollar value for each event. And as we can see, winning the win-a-box is by far the best, and winning the Premier Pod is the next best, which would make sense. Winning the events gets you the most tickets. But you see that the win-a-box highly weighted for winning, where the Premier scales. As you do better, you get more and more rewards. It's not just all or nothing. However, remember, you can't lose your first game and submarine to the top of a Premier Pod. You lose, you're out. The draft and sealed events rarely give you ticket value since, again, you're pricing in the card value. If you're trying to fill out a collection, please feel free to do the sealed events. I'm just only focused on tickets in this video. We also see that if you're a group of 8 players and you split the Premier Pod, it gives you a higher ticket per dollar value than the win-a-box, even though the win-a-box gives more tickets. And that's because the win-a-box is $20 entry and the Premier Pod Casual is $10 entry. That's why that might be different than you expect. Money isn't actually everything, right? I want to look at these events one more time. We may be getting a bargain, but is there a way to get tickets faster? Let's say you won a bunch of money at blackjack in Vegas and you're like, I got a ton of money. I want to get these tickets fast and I want to get out of here. So if you and a bunch of buddies have a ton of money and you show up, the win-a-box is the fastest way to get tickets if you're looking at the 8-player constructed pods. But the Premier Pods are a little safer if you're a solo player because, again, it's not all or nothing. It's also worth noting here with the time stuff, you and your buddies could just play the fastest of fast aggro decks, right? All of you are running double red Kylo. You're just hitting face. That's not collusion, right? You're playing the games out. You're playing the tournaments. You're just beating down and winning in 10 minutes. So you could play Premier Pods and just speed run it with Kylo Reds, and you can still get a bunch of tickets for a very fast turnover rate of play. So keep that in mind. I just wanted to quickly show times just so you know I did a thorough investigation on all this. But if you really are crunched for time, bring a super fast aggro deck. Have all your friends bring a super fast aggro deck. Either you'll win in 10 minutes or you're out. That was the 8-player pods. What about the other 2 on-demand events? The league play, you can only do 4 times a day, and it's really not great for tickets, but you do get a cool playmat, so I think I will do this at least once just to get that playmat. And this leaves us with Twin Suns for the last on-demand event. If you win, you get crazy value, and if you lose, you get worse value than even the best projection of ticket to dollar value. However, if you split, you get about the dollar value of what we expect. But the caveat here, again, is if you use the $95 benchmark and not the $75 benchmark, you actually are still getting kind of a bargain on the tickets. Anyway, I think you can get a fun Twin Suns game of 40 to 50 minutes in, which puts you around the same time to ticket ratio as win-a-box. Roughly 6 tickets per minute. It's also easier to have 3 friends split over 7. So keep that in mind as well. Bring a Twin Suns deck. You and 3 of your buddies show up. You just keep splitting all the tickets. And then eventually, you're not getting that much of a bargain money-wise, but you are getting the tickets to get the exclusive rewards at Galactics. So that was all the on-demand events. There's also 3 tournaments that will be held a few times over the weekend. And these are large events, so there's no splitting here. You can't split with 256 players. The Super Sealed event is kind of cool. It's 12 packs and 6 Swiss rounds, single game matches. It'll take 4 hours to complete, and it's held 3 times. Costs $50 to enter, and you get 300 tickets per match win and 100 tickets per match loss. The premier event is 6 rounds of Swiss, and it's best of 3. This is the only side event that I've seen is actually best of 3. It's projected to take 7 hours, happens Friday at 11 a.m., and the winner gets 2,000 tickets. If you get 5 wins, you get 1,500 tickets. 4 wins is 1,200 tickets. 3 wins is 900. 2 wins is 700. 1 win is 500. And 0 wins is 300. The draft tournament is similar, but it's the day after on Saturday at 11 a.m. This time it's only 6 hours since it's a single game match, but you need deck building time. And it's the same prize rewards. The winner gets 2,000 tickets, 5 wins 1,500, 4 wins 1,200, 3 wins 900, 2 wins 700, 1 win 500, and 0 wins 300. I want to highlight there's no other mention of other prizing, no cups, no trophies, no extra rewards. If that's mentioned later on, these might have higher value. Right now, just says tickets are the prizing, and the tickets, you get a lot of them, but it's 6 and 7 hour tournaments, not 50-minute, 90-minute on-demand events. The per dollar value for doing well in the premier and draft tournaments gives you pretty high ticket value, but again, it's not nearly as much as winning an 8-player pod, which will be easier than going undefeated in a 256 person event. Also, the time commitment here is not the best. It's going to eat up your entire day when you could be grinding events elsewhere, getting higher value. So personally, I'm probably not going to enter into these events. They just take up way too much time, and I want to do the other things. So after all that, what do I recommend you do? Well, let me put on screen the tables that show the ticket per dollar value of all the events. Since the time-wise, you can kind of game by bringing like a really fast, aggressive deck. And what I'd say is, if you're by yourself, I'd play in the Premier Pods. If you're in an 8-person group, I'd do a Premier Pod split. And if you're in a 4-person group, I'd do a Twin Sun split. However, at the end of the day, it's your event. Do what makes you happy. I plan on doing Twin Suns and then maybe some Premier splitting with some friends to get tickets. And then I want to do the designer battles and 1 league play to get the mat. I also really enjoy sealed and limited events, so I may go and just do sealed events and then give away like the banger cards I get, because I'm already going to probably have a full playset of the cards because I'm a degenerate. So if you're going to Worlds and you see me, come say hi, and when I inevitably go like 0-3 drop in the main event, come ask me to go do some side events with you. It'll be a blast, and you can kick my butt. So if you liked the video, please subscribe. I'm also working on 2 new deck tech videos. One is for Third Sister, one is for the new Obi-Wan Kenobi leader. Those are some of my more main videos. They're going to be an hour and a half to 2 hours. It's going to be everything you need to know about both Third Sister and the new Legend of the Force Obi-Wan. If you want to see those deck lists early before the video's out, consider joining my Discord below. I have all the active, mature decks that I think are worth something or have something to them. They're linked in one of my Discord channels. So feel free, join the Discord, download the decks, try them out, come talk to me or my community about deck building and things you like, things you don't like. So that's all I have for you today. A Google Sheet with all this information in one table will be in the description below. So feel free to download it, copy it into the Excel sheet or whatever. Have a wonderful day, and see ya.